The Lati twins are back with the Indigo Disc DLC, and they have brought some pretty interesting buffs along with them. If you didn't know, the move Luster Purge got buffed to an impressive 95 base power, and Latios also got access to Flip Turn, a hit and run move where you attack first and switch out afterwards. Alright, look, today we have a great battle against Biridoo. There's some great plays made on both sides, sprinkled with a little bit of hacks here and there, but the key point is Latios pops off. Here are the teams. Let me know who you think will win in the comments section down below, and stick around till the end to find out if you're right. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the battle. And the battle begins. Good luck, have fun, Biridoo. So they're going to lead off with Ajolote, which is the Salamence. I'm guessing that's another word for an axolotl. I'm guessing. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. So we know this thing could have Avalanche. It could hit us extremely hard. Move doubles in power if he gets hit by an attack. So we're probably better off. But they might have just go for a Stealth Rocks here. They may also just switch out into the Forretress. So I'm going to go for the Flip Turn. I'm expecting either a switch to the Forretress or a Stealth Rocks. So we're going to go for a Flip Turn. They do not switch out, which is good to know. And we're going to get Latios out of there. And then we're going to go into something that can tackle a Swampert pretty well, which is going to have to be either the... Not you. I guess Slowking can probably do some work here. So I am going to go Slowking. They might also go for a Flip Turn of their own. If they do, they do. If they don't, they don't. So we'll go Slowking. They do go for an Ice Beam, showing they are actually special, which means this Slowking switch was actually perfect. That's what we like to see. So what we're going to do here is I'm expecting a Flip Turn. I know Flip Turn's physical, and they've shown the special, but Flip Turn is a switching move, so people still run that on them, even though they are, special. So, looking at their team, I'm thinking Future Sight does wonders here, so I'm going to go for a Future Sight real quick. They do go for the Stealth Rocks, which is fair enough. Stealth Rocks do make sense, and they're going to hurt my team pretty badly. But this Future Sight is going to hurt something on their team. They've got a Keldeo and a Breloom that are weak to it, 3 Pokemon that are neutral to it, and a Forretress, which is their resist, which they can't just switch in willy-nilly because we have an Incineroar in the back. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go for that good old reliable Chili Reception, and I'm going to get on out of there. So they go for an EQ, which is going to sting a little bit. So they are a mixed set, which is interesting. And we go ahead and tell a chillingly bad joke. There we go. Like so. Make it snow. And then we're going to get on out of there. We get a free switch in on whatever we want. So what I'm going to do is, because I don't really have like a strong grass type on the team, so I think my best bet is probably the Weezing or the Latios again, because we know they don't have Avalanche now, so Ice Beam is less threatening. So we could drop a Draco on their face if we want to, or we can go to this thing and go for a Misty Explosion. I'm going to go into Latios, because Latios can probably do a lot of work here. Now that we know that they don't have Avalanche, and that they have Ice Beam, which isn't going to one-shot us, I'm quite happy to come in here and drop a Draco. Because the next turn, this same turn, they're going to get hit by a Future Sight as well, which is going to nearly knock them out more than likely. So they go for an Ice Beam, which is going to sting, but it's not going to sting quite enough, as they now get hit by the Future Sight attack, which nearly KOs them, but not quite enough. So that's unfortunate. They couldn't quite get the KO with the Future Sight. I thought it would KO, but I guess not. And so I'm going to drop another Draco and just get rid of the Swampert now. There we go. So Swampert is down. Latios is putting in the work right now, which is great. Great to see. So Latios putting in the work. In comes the Keldeo. So Keldeo normally would be a bad switch because we can Luster Purge. But we are -3. -3. I don't know how you say it. Special attack. So I'm going to go straight into Slowking. There's no real reason for me to stay in with my Latios when the Keldeo is at full health and we can't KO it with the Luster Purge. So I'm going to go for Slow Queen. I couldn't remember whether Latios outsped or not. I think it's a speed tie. So I didn't want to risk it. So they do go for a Flip Turn on the switch, which is a very good play on my opponent's behalf, because now they get a free switch into Breloom, which means they get a free... I would say free Spore, but we do have the Misty Terrain on the Galarian Weezing. So they do bring in the Breloom. We have got the perfect switch in, though, in Galarian Weezing. So that's not too bad for us. Let's see how this works out first. So we'll go into Galarian Weezing. Again, we've got the Misty Surge. So Misty Terrain, if you didn't know, prevents status conditions if the opposing Pokemon is touching the ground. And because we're not Levitate, we're Misty Surge, we are technically touching the ground, even though we're not, because we're clearly levitating, but we are technically touching the ground, and that means Spore ain't going to work. There we go. So there we go. Industria comes in, puts that Breloom's pesky plans to the stop, and then I would go for a Strange Team, but I feel like Forretress is coming in right now. Then again, we could go for a Flamethrower on the... I think they expect the Flamethrower and they switch out. I don't think they go for Forretress here. I don't think they go for Forretress because we could easily go for Flamethrower. I think if they go into Acro Punut, that's going to be the Forretress, isn't it? Yeah, Forretress comes in. So, Forretress comes in. We go for a Strange Steam. They avoid the attack, which is really unfortunate. And I am Choice Specs. Probably wondering why. No reason. Just cause. Just cause, okay? Just cause. So, I want to go into my Donphan to get Rapid Spin off because now that the Swampet's gone. So, I'm going to go ahead and do that. It also stops them from going for a Volt Switch, which is great. And if they set up hazards now, even further, then that's going to be great for us as well. So, we'll go Donphan. There we go. Go Donphan and see what they're going to do. They go for a Spike. So, the Spikes are here. Now, there's a couple of things they could do here. They could waste their Terra. Not waste the Terra, but they could use their Terra and go for a Terra Ghost here to block our Rapid Spin. Or they could switch out. I'm going to go ahead and assume they're not going to... Yeah, they don't Terra Ghost, which is great. And they're going to go into Sangria, which is going to be the Gyarados. So Gyarados comes in. Very threatening Pokemon, to say the least. We go for a Rapid Spin. Obviously, getting rid of them Stealth Rocks is going to be helpful for later on down the line. And what we might have to do here is they're going to Dragon Dance, which makes them a threat. It makes them a big threat. So we have to be extremely careful with what we do here. Now, part of me wants to go ahead and switch out into our Galarian Weezing, because we can definitely go for a Misty Explosion and take this thing out. Part of me wants to go into Latios, but Latios gets KO'd the next turn. So it's like, what do I do here? I think I go Incineroar, Knockoff. Because the Intimidate. That's what I think. That's what I think. So let's see how this plays out for us. You're probably thinking, not a very good play switching in an Incineroar on a Gyarados. Well, guess what? This thing's definitely going for a Dragon Dance here. They 100% go for a Dragon Dance here. So I want to get that Intimidate off. Intimidate's going to definitely help here. They do go for the Dragon Dance as expected. Now they are back to neutral attack, which means they pretty much have to go for another Dragon Dance if they want to get the attack boost. Or they can just try and KO us with Waterfall, which might work, might not. But the Mist is going to disappear, which means that Dragon type moves are back to full power. It's the only downside to Misty Terrain, but it doesn't affect Latios because it's levitating, so it's not a big deal. So I'm going to go for a knockoff now, because they go for a Taunt. Okay, so they're expecting us to be some sort of different set with Will-O-Wisp and stuff. We're not. We're a choice banded set, so I'm going to go for a knockoff. Nearly get the KO on the Gyarados, which is crazy good. Crazy good, which means we get to go for another attack, and they are still at neutral attack right now, which means Waterfall ain't KOing us. They go for the Waterfall anyway. They could get the flinch, to be fair. They could get the flinch. They don't get the flinch. Tigger is able to get a knockoff off. Incineroar putting in the work like an absolute champ. And that means the title's going to be, this is why Incineroar is completely broken. In comes Temerado. The Salamence. Is Salamence going to try and do the same thing with the Dragon Dance? I believe it might. So, I feel obligated to stay in and go for a knockoff. You know? I really feel obligated to stay in and go for a knockoff. They do go for a Dragon Dance. They do go for a Dragon Dance. And I think that even with the... we're not going to KO with the knockoff here. There's no doubt in my mind we're not going to KO. I think it's going to do a lot of damage. It is stab. There we go. We knock off the heavy duty boots as well, which is great. And we're going to shake off the taunt, which doesn't matter. So this next turn, what I'm going to do is I am going to stay in a knockoff once again. They do go for another Dragon Dance because they are confident they can live the second knockoff. But I have a feeling we're going to get a critical hit here. And it's just a hunch, but it is a very big hunch. As we don't, unfortunately. But it's fine. We have got the Ice Shard on the Donphan. So Incineroar did really well here. Incineroar definitely did really well here. As now all we need to do is switch in our Donphan because there's no reason to keep Donphan around other than for the Salamence. So let's go Donphan. We'll keep the Intimidate Incineroar around for later. I just had a feeling they were going to go for another Dragon Dance, you know? But we have Donphan right here with a Rocky Helmet as they go for a Roost. Of course they go for a Roost. Of course they go for a Roost. So, here's the thing, right? We go for an Ice Shard here, we KO this thing. Unless they Terra Steel. Or Terra Fire. Or Terra Water. They won't Tera Water though. They had like 2 water types on the team already. I think we have to go for it. I think they Tera Steel. They have Terra though. I think we've predicted the Terra here, which is great if we have. Tera Steel, yes! That's what we like to see. Now all we need to do is live a hit from a +2 Salamence. That's all we have to do. Live a dual wing beat. Oh, we live with that easy. 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 There we go. There we go. And we got the 2 Rocky Helmet chips. Plus the Earthquake, which is about to hit because it's a Tera Steel type. There we go. We made the right play for a change. I'm actually proud of myself for that. As down goes Salamence. Down goes Salamence. So, do you know what did really well this game? Incineroar. Incineroar has done extremely well this game. And I believe that we can still use it to take out the Forretress, you know? In comes Ondoa, which is going to be the Keldeo. No, the Breloom. Okay, never mind. Definitely going for an Ice Shard here because this thing goes for Spores. We don't want to get spored up, so I'm going to go for the Ice Shard real quick. They do go for a Bullet Seed, which is definitely going to KO us, especially if it's loaded dice. No, never mind. Loaded dice was not required because it hits 2 times and that KOs us. So there you know. There we go. So we're in a good position because here's the thing, right? They have Mach Punch for Incineroar, so we don't want to worry about that. We're definitely going to go Latios here. And it's a shame that Bastiodon didn't get to do anything this game, but you know, it is what it is. I think Incineroar deserved its spot on the thumbnail. That's for sure. So what I'm going to do here is I am going to flip. No, I think they predict the flip turn and they stay in. So I'm going to go for a Luster Purge. They don't. They switch out. Okay, so they switch out. I could have gone I could have got some more Incineroar action there, but you know it is what it is. So we go for a Luster Purge. There we go. Should do a decent bit of damage. It does do a decent bit of damage, which is great. We lower their special defense as well, so actually a Draco could KO here. So I am going to go for that Draco. As Latios putting in the work, goes for that Draco Meteor, definitely getting the KO on that Forretress. So Forretress goes down, and Swampert goes down to Latios. So it's a tie between Incineroar and Latios going in the thumbnail. Now, that is pretty awesome. So in comes the Keldeo. Now, Keldeo is in an interesting position because I don't think it can KO us with anything, but I'm not sure if we KO. I'm not sure if we KO with anything, so I am going to go for the Luster Purge just to see how much damage we do and see if that definitely gets the KO on the Keldeo thanks to a critical hit. As down goes the Keldeo. That is an unfortunate crit, but Latios coming through with the critical hits. That's an absolutely crazy one. So in comes the Breloom. Now Breloom is like sat here like, what can I do here? We just go for another Luster Purge. It should KO the Breloom from here in even at -2 special attack thanks to that Soul Do. If it doesn't KO, so be it. But it does KO. Do we get another crit? No, we don't get another crit. As down goes the Breloom, and that is going to be the game. So GG Beardy, that was a pretty fun one. That crit against the Keldeo was pretty awesome for me. But yeah, thanks Beardo, I appreciate it. But anyway, here is the team. Try it out if you want to. Use the code at the top right corner of the screen. Thanks so much for watching today's video. If you did enjoy, of course, leave a like, subscribe, all that wonderful stuff. And with that being said, I'll see you all in a bit.